Shinobi Striker release date. When is Shinobi Striker coming out? That's actually a good question. Let me Google that real fast. 2018. I get asked this question on a daily basis. People want to know when the game's coming out. Trust me, I do too. But at this point, no one knows. I don't know. Your retailer doesn't know. At this point, I don't think even the developers know when it's coming out. And we need to talk this because there's a lot of misinformation being spread right now. Sometimes people come to me and say, oh, I saw the release date on some website, or my local retailer told me the game was going to come out on this day. Take my word for it. It's not coming out on any day that those people told you about. When you're browsing some website like Amazon and you see a release date of December 31st, it used to be December 31st, 2017. Did the game come out? No. Now it's December 31st, 2018. This is not a real date. It's okay for you not to know this because you don't work in video games and you don't have to know these things. But when the website makes a release date of December 31st in the current year, that is a placeholder date. That means the website does not know when the game's coming out, but they needed to put something on the release date field, so what they do is put the last day of the year. And that's just so people don't expect the game to come out before that date. Because if a release date gets announced in the meantime, they just change that number. But if they try to guess and then it gets to that date and the product isn't there, then you get angry customers asking, why isn't the game available? You said it was gonna come out on this day. That's all it is. December 31st is not a day when people release video games. Unless you're like a super independent studio releasing a small game like that, but a publisher as big as Bandai is not gonna release a game on December 31st. So those are not real dates. And then there's the whole Target thing. A while back, Target apparently leaked the release date for Shinobi Striker. It was June 29th or something like that. Now this could have been a leak. Could have been, but it could also have been a mistake. And I personally think it was a mistake. And there are several reasons as to why that was a mistake. First of all, June is not too far off. We're like 3 months away from June at this point. And usually games don't announce a release date so close to the actual release. If the game was coming out in June, we would have known about it months ago. And also, June is a terrible month to launch video games. Not a lot of big companies do it, and it's because it's the month of E3. E3 is the biggest gaming event of the year. A lot of stuff gets announced around E3. All the press coverage is about those announcements. If someone tries to release a game around June, it's just gonna get drowned in all that press coverage of what has been announced for Sony, for Microsoft, all those big games that are coming out. Everyone's talking about that stuff and no one's gonna be talking about the game you put out in June. Unless that's actually something that you want. If you think your game is gonna be that terrible that you just want it drowned and no one talking about it as you put it out. But I honestly don't think that will be the case with Shinobi Striker. I mean, we've all heard the criticism of the game's gonna be bad, the game's gonna suck. But for as bad as the game might be, it is a Naruto game. That is a very powerful name still. Too powerful for Bandai Namco to drown it in the E3 coverage. And for those reasons, I don't think the game's gonna come out in June at all. In addition to that, on our sponsor Discord, Black Uchiha said that he called the developers. Now, the phone number for the developers, it's not too hard to find. I'm not gonna share it because I really don't want you guys to just spam that phone. Please don't do that. But according to his own words, he called the developers, someone picked up, they didn't speak very good English, but he asked them about the target date, asking, is this a real date? And they said, no. Now, I'm not asking you guys to just believe what a sponsor said. He obviously doesn't have anything to back up this story other than his own word. But the point is, you can sponsor TGN Anime and tell me all your stories. $4.99 a month. Now, the point of this is the game is not coming out in June. Could it come out in June? It could. I mean, technically, it is possible. I just think it's super, super unlikely. Even without the Black Uchiha story, I think there are too many factors that would make that a bad idea, and it's just not happening. The overall feeling around this game is, please delay it to make it good. But the thing is, the game can't really be delayed if it never had a date, right? At some point, we all believed that the game was gonna come out early 2018. I believe that was coming out of a leaked trailer during a Comic-Con or something. Early 2018. Now, what is early 2018? January? February? March? April? I'm gonna say probably not April, and here's the reason why. In the world of business, not just video game business, but all business, the year is broken into 4 quarters. The first quarter runs from the beginning of January till the end of March. So when a developer says early 2018, they usually mean the first quarter of 2018. So from January until the end of March. Is the game gonna come out this month? No, for the reasons that we already talked about. They're gonna announce a release date that is months in the future at some point. At this point, I think we'll be lucky if we get a second beta in March. They did say they were gonna hold a second beta because the first one was just garbage. They didn't say when, and at this point, I think we'll be lucky if it happens in March. No one is this quiet before release, so it's not coming out early 2018. In some ways, it has already been delayed, but I still think there's enough time for a September, October release, maybe November even, which if that's the case, we'll see way more marketing for this game around the summer. They will stop being so quiet. Marketing for this game has been very, very criticized. It's been the #1 reason as to why the hype has died down for real around Shinobi Striker. I honestly believe that the marketing has stopped because they are still so far away from release. The initial plan might have been early 2018, so they released some characters, they announced the character creation and all that stuff. They were ramping up to something, and at some point they realized we cannot hit the early 2018, we need to change the marketing plans for everything. If they were still announcing characters and game modes and different maps, what would happen a couple months away from release? They would run out of stuff to talk about. And that is why I believe they have stopped, and they'll pick it back up once we get closer to release. Yes, the marketing has been terrible. I'm not trying to excuse them or anything, but it's these change of plans and development troubles that might have you end up not delivering on the date that you thought you were. And if we do get a September, October, or November release, I think we'll see way more marketing starting on E3. And throughout the summer, we'll see way more stuff pop up for Shinobi Striker. But the main takeaway from this video is no one knows when the game's coming out. Not Amazon, not Target, certainly not your local retailer. When we know, rest assured, I'll talk about it. Or at least I'll tweet about it. Follow me at Globku. I don't know how to end this video. Check out some of our previous stuff. In this video, I fill out the survey that they sent out for the open beta. And in this one, I don't know. Just click it to find out. Thanks for watching. Boy.